What's up everybody, my name is Vincent. Welcome to Cryptolution, where we talk about everything under the moon, the crypto universe. Today's Tuesday, September 30th. Now in today's dog video, we're going to be talking about a few things. The number one thing that I want to share with you is something that's happening in the charting, and that is regarding this indicator that shows to us every time we reach an oversold signal, a bull rally follows. Now I will share that with you in just a little bit, but before we do, I also want to share with you what's going on with DOG's price, because as you notice, it's up 3.75% just in the past 24 hours. But why is that? And also, I've noticed that the whole crypto market's not actually really pumping right now, so it's just dog at the moment. But maybe we also have some news coming from OKX. Now, this specific response from Elizabeth Olsen, who is the product marketing director over at OKX, responded to a dog army member. Is the specific response coded that maybe OKX could be looking to list dog? Well, let's get right into it. Let's not waste any time. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X, and please be careful with any of the scammers down in the comments below. I'll never reach out via WhatsApp, Telegram, direct messaging, or email. So please be careful and invest safely. Guys and girls, let's get right into it. So as I mentioned before, for some reason, dog is up 3.75% just within the past 24 hours. Now, when you look at the overall crypto market, Bitcoin and Ethereum and many of the other altcoins haven't really been pumping. In fact, a lot of them are in the negative. Same thing could be said around the meme coin sector. As you've noticed, the meme coin sector, especially Pudgy Penguins, SPX 6900, Bonk, they're in the red. But when you scroll down just a little bit further down, you'll notice something. Dog Bitcoin is up 3.81%, but more importantly, notice the ranking is back to 199. Now, this used to be at around 234 as of yesterday. Again, this could be fluctuating. This may not last long. We never know. It just seems really interesting that Dog Bitcoin is pumping and decoupling away from the meme coin market. As we know, Bitcoin meme coins perform differently from Solana and Ethereum meme coins. Sometimes we see Solana and Ethereum meme coins pump, but not dog. And then all of a sudden, dog pumps, but not the Solana and Ethereum meme coins. So right now, this is actually kind of interesting that dog has climbed the ranks. We'll see how long this lasts. In terms of the altcoin season index, we're still kind of leaning towards altcoin season, but it's not confirmed. In fact, I actually think the altcoin season actually hasn't begun just yet. I think we still have more Bitcoin DOMs to go, because I think what's going to happen in the month of October and especially November, we're going to see Bitcoin pump. And I think that a lot of the altcoins, meme coins, and even dog will lag behind just a little bit, because altcoin season typically happens after a major Bitcoin pump, because we don't see retail coming in just yet. So let's get into some news. Okay, so let's talk about OKX. Elizabeth Olsen, who is the product marketing director over at OKX, she used to work over at Magic Eden, is focusing more on implementations within the wallet of OKX, but also bringing up different videos such as this. Now, an hour ago, this was uploaded. Now, down below, you'll notice that Dreama Nick did say when dog. Elizabeth Olsen said in that response, "We're cooking something Solana coded with eyes." Now, when I posted that specific breaking news, Elizabeth Olsen said, "Oh lordy, I missed the dog army," laughing and a heart emoji. Now, what does this actually mean? We don't actually know. But the fact is, I love that Elizabeth Olsen has always been supporting dog since the very beginning, ever since she worked at Magic Eden. This is why I'm a huge fan of her and her work, and this is why I think potentially OKX could be looking towards dog implemented on something. We don't exactly know, but Elizabeth Olsen is on our side, and she's an insider within the OKX team, which is absolutely amazing, and we hope that dog will be listed on OKX for spot trading. If you're listening, Elizabeth, that's what we want. Now, moving on, let's talk about why America is going to lead the Bitcoin, meme coin, and dog super cycle. Now, in this specific post, I did say that the new space race isn't about reaching the moon. It's about who leads the Bitcoin meme coin bull run. Now, there is this video from Neil deGrasse Tyson. Now, he's an astrophysicist, and recently he made a video that talked about that the space race never ended. So what he was talking about is that back in the 1960s, we saw that Russia was racing towards sending the first dog in space, sending the first human being in space, sending the first woman in space, sending the first brown person, actually from Cuba, in space. That was all Russia. So America reacted, not proactive, but reactive, and reacted to this news and decided, you know what, we're going to land a man on the moon. And so even though we ignore all those other accomplishments that Russia had done, America was more focused on landing a person on the moon. But have you noticed that we haven't seen it since then? We haven't had any more space races. We kind of just gave up on that dream over the past 30 years. But now we're seeing that China is actually wanting to go back to the moon and having a station there. And now America is being reactive to that. Now America wants to send people to the moon, to Mars using Artemis program. And that's why you're seeing right now that USA is reacting to what Asia is doing, aka China. But guess what? In terms of Bitcoin meme coins, we're seeing that dog is actually flipping the script, where America, instead of being reactive, is now being proactive. So what do I mean by that? So basically, Kraken right now, especially their CEO Arjan, is doing this forward thinking and embracing the innovation of Bitcoin runes, aka Bitcoin meme coins, fungible tokens on Bitcoin. So because they're going to do that, they're trying to beat every other exchange, especially foreign exchanges. Arjan knows this, okay? And also Kraken knows this. They need to lead into the Bitcoin meme coin narrative, because when that narrative does come around and becomes trending again, guess where people are going to go to buy Bitcoin meme coins? They're going to buy it on Kraken. And so you're going to see OKX, Binance, HTX, KuCoin, they're all going to see this, okay? They're all Asian exchanges. They're going to see what's happening, that America is leading in the Bitcoin innovation charge with fungible tokens. And what they're going to do, they're going to be reactive. So Kraken and Arjan are proactive, while Asia-based exchanges are going to be reactive. They're going to react to the interest of Bitcoin meme coins. Does that make any sense? So this is why I believe what Kraken is doing right now in this specific moment is adopting Bitcoin meme coins. So when you go over to Arjan Sethi's X account, you'll notice that most of his tweets and also most of his posts are about Bitcoin meme coins. So say right here we have one about MIM, aka the Magic Internet Money. But did you know that Arjan Sethi just recently attended the Security Exchange Commission's roundtable, and basically was a panelist of a whole bunch of different leaders within the crypto space? But with that, his voice is so important within the regulation within the United States regarding cryptocurrency. But as you can tell, he's absolutely adopting MIM and DOG. And there's another token called Gizmo, another Bitcoin meme coin. And he's also interested in these other Bitcoin projects happening within the Bitcoin ecosystem, such as Ordinals and also Bitcoin runes. And as you can see, he's absolutely talking about Lobo, MIM. He's a huge advocate. Again, he is the CEO. And not too long ago, he just retweeted, aka reposted, the video that Dan from Crypto Capital Ventures talked about Arjan Sethi's breakdown of the crypto rally that's coming and how that reflects on DOG's price. So that's just one thing. And also, let's talk about Dan. So Dan ended up breaking this down. If you haven't seen this video, I'm going to post the link on the upper right hand side, which you'll see on YouTube. But if you go into his X account, he'll talk about how this dog setup is so ugly, it might be the most beautiful crypto play of the cycle. And as I've showed you, if Arjan Sethi is seeing the early signals of Bitcoin meme coins and also Dan from Crypto Capital Ventures, then you understand that these people who have been around for a very long time understand the reason why they create crypto content about this when things are not pumping is because our job as the content creators is to report to you undervalued tokens, not tokens that are already pumping, as Dan has said here. So right now, what we're trying to tell you is that DOG is the biggest play right now. And even using his risk model, which I highly recommend, this is on his actual Crypto Capital Ventures AI unit. And if you implement DOG in here, it shares with you the long-term risk. And as you can see here, we're at ranking number 21, which is a moderate buy. This is the time to buy. Right now is the time to accumulate as much as possible using this risk model. Now, we're even seeing major players, again, thank you to BitMEX for sharing this with us, that major wallets, not number one, that's a tier one exchange, but all these other wallets especially are accumulating a lot. Look at number 5, 35 million DOG tokens, number 25, 30 million tokens, number 21, 19 million tokens. These are all whale wallets within the top 100. Now, another thing I want to share with you, again, is the Stoch RSI. And as you can see, based on the weekly time frame, right now we're absolutely oversold. Now, every time we see something like this, which is a bottom, we're going to experience another parabola event right up there. And it's exactly where we are right now. It's setting us up for October's bull run. The Q4 2025 and especially October usually has a very bullish month, especially up until November. Now, here's something that I want to share with you, which is very important. Now, you got to use this indicator, which is the red and green zone reversal. Now, the reason this is important, this is the indicator that I brought up earlier on in the video. Now, notice that every single time we see this green line, these green lines right here are basically oversold zones. Now, when you look at the red lines, they are the overbought zones. So let's pay attention to both of these zones and how it's reflective into the RSI and to the price of DOG. Now, look at the red line, okay? The red line means it's overbought. Look what happened to the RSI. It was topping off, and then we experienced what this red trend line is, downside pressure. Then we saw another green line, which is oversold. And what happened? We saw it reflected in the RSI, in the oversold area. That's where it was oversold. It bottomed. And then we saw it starting to go right back up. And then we saw another overbought. And even then, we were still seeing major uptrend within the green trend line. And because it was overbought, we saw a downtrend. Now look at the green lines. Remember, the green lines are oversold. It happened right over here. It happened right over here, just like how the RSI is bottom. Then the dog price started going up. We saw overbought. Now, what's very interesting is that when we had that overbought, that's when we started to see a downtrend within dog's price. And as you see over here, guess what happened? We have another green line. Yep, this green line means that we are oversold again because the RSI says that the dog price bottomed out. This is perfect timing, sharing with you that October, since it's a very bullish month, we're going to see potential reversal, which is going to be the next green trend line to the upside. That is what I think is actually happening with the specific indicator. So that's why I want to share with you this and why it's very interesting that the dog price is pumping right now. It's actually still up 3.46%, so it's a little bit higher from when we started this video. But I don't know how long this will last. Listen, there could be a lot of manipulation within the market of dog. There could be leverage traders doing this. So I would say if this price does dip, I would buy the dip. So that's just my point of view. But as you know, I remain very bullish on dog. So what have we covered in this video? Well, you saw the indicator that was on the charting analysis that we are oversold. That was the green line. But you also saw a response from Elizabeth Olsen over at OKX saying that they are cooking something Solana coded. And then obviously you know that Kraken is leading the charge with Bitcoin meme coins. They're trying to be proactive and outpace and outrace all the other exchanges before they catch on to it. And that is the early signal that you need to understand today on Tuesday, September 30th. And don't forget, this weekend is going to be the Kraken F1 reward for the dog army. We're going to find out what P2 position is going to give us in regards to that. So let me know your thoughts down below, everything that we covered in this video, and I hope it's been very helpful. So smash up that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X to receive all of our alpha calls and updates regarding dog and moon. Till then, see you guys girls next time.